There are places on Earth we believe hold no more surprises. Places fully mapped. Oceans measured. Mysteries we assume have already been solved. But there are also places we were never meant to truly understand. And deep beneath the ice, buried under kilometers of frozen silence, lie secrets no one dares to speak aloud. The most terrifying part is not that these secrets exist. It is that they may be deliberately hidden. So what lies dormant in that forgotten land? What truths remain frozen in time? Today we journey into one of the deepest mysteries you have never been told. Fasten your seatbelt, because what you are about to hear may change the way you see our planet forever. The sixth continent that doesn't belong to humanity. At the southernmost edge of the planet lies a continent unlike any other. Antarctica. Average temperatures plunge to minus 25 degrees Celsius. Winds strong enough to tear through steel. And almost no life at all. It feels like a blank space on the map of human civilization. Not because we cannot go there, but because we are not allowed to know too much. Before 1909, most of the world didn't even know Antarctica existed. It wasn't until Ernest Shackleton's expedition stepped onto that endless white expanse that humanity realized Earth still held a place this cold, this distant, and this unreachable. But is Antarctica empty simply because of its brutal climate? Or because something beneath the ice does not want to be seen? The letter with no return address in 2015, while the world argued over climate change and technological progress, investigative journalist Linda received a strange handwritten letter. No return address. No greeting. Only a title written across the top. The Truth About Antarctica. The author claimed to be a former pilot who had served in both the United States Air Force and Navy. He said he had witnessed things no one would ever believe unless they saw them with their own eyes. For Linda, this was not unfamiliar territory. 30 years earlier, she had investigated hundreds of chilling cattle mutilation cases across rural America. Animals found dead. No blood. Organs removed with surgical precision. Her documentary A Strange Harvest shocked the world and opened the floodgates for witnesses who had been silent for decades. Soon after, stories of Antarctica began arriving. Pilot Brian and the Forbidden Sky. The man who wrote the letter was named Brian, a pilot who served nearly 15 years in Antarctica. The moment that changed everything occurred in September 1995. An engineer at McMurdo Station suffered a catastrophic accident and fell into a coma. The only chance to save his life was an emergency flight to Davis Station. Brian was the only pilot available. All Antarctic flights were required to avoid a classified military no-fly zone. But there was no time to wait. Their C-130 Hercules cut through the frozen air. Minutes after entering the restricted zone, their navigation systems began to fail. Not like any electromagnetic interference they had ever encountered. They switched to visual navigation. And that's when they saw it. An enormous structure buried beneath the ice. A perfectly circular opening as wide as a football stadium. Around it, armored vehicles moved steadily, without leaving a single track in the snow. From their altitude they could not see the bottom. It was as if the earth itself had been hollowed out. The order of silence. Brian completed the mission. The patient survived. Days later, Brian was summoned. No paperwork. No signatures. Only a warning. You will never speak of what you saw. Nearly 20 years later, Brian broke his silence. He sent Linda his Antarctica Service Medal and a photograph of the 1995 flight crew. Proof that he had been there. Then another voice came forward. Sparta 1 and the structure beneath 3 kilometers of ice. In 2018, a former U.S. Navy serviceman contacted Linda. He called himself Sparta 1. His face was hidden, his voice distorted, but his testimony was devastating. In 2003, a spy satellite detected a massive artificial structure nearly 3 kilometers beneath the Antarctic ice, octagonal in shape, constructed from black basalt, a material associated with ancient, highly advanced civilizations. When the expedition arrived, a colossal stone door was uncovered. Despite its size, it opened with minimal force. Inside, the temperature rose. The walls emitted a faint blue glow, and beyond them lay a chamber so vast it defied measurement. At its center stood hundreds of transparent biological containment tanks. Inside were humanoid beings, not fully human, not alien in the way science fiction imagines. One scientist whispered, "They're not visitors. They were created." The phase transition protocol. According to Sparta 1, the facility was a biological backup system for Earth, a contingency plan. If humanity fails, these beings awaken. They inherit the planet. He spoke of a term repeated endlessly in classified documents: phase transition protocol. The moment control is transferred, Linda asked the question no one wanted to hear. Who authorized this? Sparta 1 stared into the camera before answering. Not us, and not them. The ones who decided left Earth a very long time ago. The silence remains. Since 2015, Linda has received dozens of similar testimonies. Witnesses who never met. Yet all describe the same blue light. The same unbearable chill. Some call the beings the gatekeepers. Others believe they are descendants of a prehistoric civilization waiting to return. Do you believe this story? Maybe you don't. But if even a part of it made you pause, then perhaps the truth has never truly been frozen. If you want to continue exploring mysteries buried by time and silence, subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next story.